Oh, is that you? Is that you looking in at the keyhole? Are you looking in at the keyhole? You don't know what the keyhole is? Well, I'm looking. I see you, right? And you're so close to my camera. It's almost like I'm looking out the keyhole from my door to see who's there. Who's there? I don't hear anybody. Who's there? Well, anyways, I'm going to continue alone. Although I see you, but you're not answering, that's just fine with me. You want to come back at midnight? That's fine with me. Right now, I have enough energy to tell everybody that no matter what time you want to come back here, there's no problem. Well, wait a second. The X factor. What is the X factor of coming back here after midnight, like during my sleep? This is the X factor. Who is coming back? And he who is coming back, does he know he is invited? Which I said he does not have to be invited. Okay. And, okay, I told him he can come or she can come, and that's no problem, and that's fine with me. The whole thing is, I didn't tell any of them the rest of the story. And it goes like this. I'm talking to the world. I'm on YouTube. How can I know if nobody leaves me a message? Even if I tell you you don't have to, I only have 5 people watching me. So there's really no risk. Okay? So, but on this certain day, I make such a desired video that taps into the hearts of all man who has the access to get onto the net. And he decides he wants to come over. And all of a sudden, everybody is coming from all angles, and I don't have enough time for everybody at the same time, nor will I ever have enough time for everybody if everybody stepped up to my door. So what do? They call an election. They go from town to town and they break themselves up and have others sort of pumping them up and speaking for them in a way and preparing notes. And anyways, whatever it is, blah, 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 blah. Move on. Okay? If I can remember that I didn't forget already. So we move on. So we have all these people coming here. And, well, first of all, the first thing is we are so lucky. Praise God. Bless the man of Bill Gates, the Apple guy, what is Steve Jobs, and all these guys, even if they're not the honest or the most honest on this earth, right? And maybe they're most honest on this earth. I don't know. I know Bill Gates, I once read in an article. This was an insane article. I didn't think, maybe he didn't know how much money he had. He says, all I'm going to leave my son is with $25 million when I die. The rest of my money is going to charities. Well, what the fuck happened, man? The guy, Steve Jobs dies. He didn't say anything about his money. The wrong guy died first. All these kids around the world that Bill Gates would have saved their lives, yet he's still alive. But I like the man. And one of the reasons I like the man, like I said, whether he's good or bad, is because I'm basically hooked up to whatever his company created, even if he stole part of it from somebody else. I'm still hooked up to this, and thank God he shared it. I mean, because he's already got enough money. He could have said, fuck y'all now and let everything drop. But the competition that comes amongst us doesn't let that happen. This guy gets better, then you get better. And as they get better, they keep climbing up the hill. You understand what I'm saying? It's he gets better, I get better. We get always, the product goes up, so we're always selling what we don't need, and we're throwing out old computers constantly, thousands of dollars that shouldn't be going there are going there because just like the antenna on your roof, you can't hook up the cable to it. You know what I'm saying? And it really doesn't pick up a reception because there's no other. It has to be actually getting it from somewhere, and it's not. Okay, now another thing I wanted to say that I didn't finish off saying when on the first thing, because everybody is coming at the same time. So now I can no longer sleep. I have to stay up all the time. So what do? I get onto YouTube, and I try to do my best with the few questions that I get, and most of them, actually, there is no answer. I get more comments than anything else, but no one ever asks me a question. Well, yeah, the odd time, a birthday number. This, yeah, the birthday's not a complicated thing to know. Your bank numbers, your transit numbers, your PIN numbers. You know. Anyways, another thing I was saying just at the beginning. I'm going to get back to what I was just talking about, right? And would you really take a chance, jump out of a plane in a parachute or anything like that? If you never thought you really took a chance, you are taking a chance, but it's really the percentage inside the mind is very low. Eating a lot of chili peppers at the same time, you'll burn your heart out. You're taking a chance. I think that chance is the worse than jumping out of a plane, eating 1,000 chili peppers. But whatever it is, okay, war is no good. Taking that chance to whether or not he's going to bomb you and bombs away, bobbing for apples, bobbing for apples. You know what I'm saying? Terminology for bombs, okay, or moms, right? Mum's the word, bomb, mom. All these words were purposely made because our lips say certain things a certain way. That's why the different areas that we are from, okay, no, there's a lot of difference. If you never thought there was a difference, there's a lot of difference. The gravitational pull all over this world is slightly different, and it has a force, okay, on your system right here. You ever see how funny your jaws are? Like if you're off by a little bit, you can't sing, and you have to be able to control the whole interior of who you are. Sure, I'm floating off the subject. Does it make a difference? Maybe we'll turn to something else. What can we do? Okay. Canadian money. $100 brown. $50 red. This is the 10-10 world. The only way to get this in a multiplication, unless somebody knows better, and don't tell me it's 100 to 1, because that's what it is. It's 100 to 1 shot. That's me. Hello. I'm 100 to 1 shot. 0, 0, 0. 0 is 1. Because imagine if you started counting your fingers over here. You'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy fuck. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one became 0 all of a sudden. But in this life, where the 0 is love in the other world, we have to have the 1 spirit. So this 0 is actually the 1 spirit to the 4 digits we have. This is the key. This is the king. This is the king pin. Kingpin. Kingpin. These 2 fingers. The thumb is the king, and this one's the pinky. But when you leave it to short, it's kingpin. Oh, yes, I made it up. But you know what? When they say the number 5, it's fine. But if you're 4th, it's also good. But when it comes to 5, being 5, it's not 5. It's the 5th. So things are changed, giving it the same value as if they were the same, but they're better comprehended because the word is easier to express. And not only that, the number count and letter value, the letter value and the design always create another story. You see, God didn't leave one story. He, I've got a potato burning. Can I get away from this for 2 seconds? I got a potato burning. I got a potato burning. Holy crap, yeah. She's a burning, all right. Woo! Oh, whole apartment is smoky. Whole apartment is smoky. Whole apartment is smoky. Oh, I shouldn't be telling you that. I told you I lived in a mansion, didn't I? Oh, something almost fell. Okay, where are we next? Okay, we're going to go off to something a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, we're going to go back to the same thing. We're going to come over here, and the $20 bill is basically green. She's the only one. Queen Elizabeth is on the $20 bill. A man, a woman, a man, and she used to be on the 2, and she used to be on the 1. 1, 2, 3, and the 20. What is that? I'm telling you, Queen Elizabeth was on the 1, the 2, and the 20 all at the same time. 2 were green, 1 was brown. But the brown is like a red. It's like the 15-ball in pool and the 7-ball rusty in pool. That's what they are. That's what they stand for. All the colors intertwine between all the games, don't forget. You know what I'm saying? How many are there in between? How many are there altogether? How many stripes? How many solids? How many that go to two sides? You have to answer all these questions. I mean, when you go play the game of pool, I mean, basically, I don't know, somehow I learned how to play the game of pool, but I can't sink a ball. The only balls I sink are down in my underwear, and I ain't taking them out. So what you have is now Queen Elizabeth was 22-3, number 23, and that's the biggest number 23 you can find. Now I'm going to explain to you our change. Presently, right now, as I know it, we have a beaver on the nickel. Do you know... Do you know why we have the beaver? Because the 5 is the nickel. I'm not going to tell you a whole story about what nickel is, but that's the passage used by God. It's the first digit E, okay? It's an odd E, okay? It's the blue world E. The 2 blue. Is it the 2 blue? And the 10 in pool? The 10 because it's 6 and 4 and 2 and 8 because it's the blue world. It's the navy blue world, the navy blue seals. One of the reasons that Titanic and a few other ships used the seals to do some of their commissions for them. Well, whatever it was. And anyways, so this is what you have. Now, now when you count the males, okay, the male, okay, now I don't know who was on the $100 bill. I think it was a guy with a big mustache. Yeah, it was, right. I'm just thinking. Guy with a great big mustache, but it was gray. I wish mine would get gray one day. So he's got 100. The brown $100 bill, the red 50 is 150. The 10 purple, well, the 150, I'll tell you right away, is 15X, the X-Man, the egg, okay? Then 150 plus the purple, another guy, which is the $10 bill, and they have purple on the 10 horse and thoroughbred racing, okay, which is also color-coded and number-coded and everything else. And I haven't looked to see if I can get winners by doing what I do with it because I'm not ready for that yet. Right now, I'm too busy doing this, and I don't have the cash to go fuck with that. So anyways, we got the 100, the 50, the 10. Then we got the 5, which has a blue jay or a number 9 in the back. Blue jay, well, of course, blue jay. Jack, blue jack, electronic jack, the angel. Don't forget, we get 2 cards in when we play cards, a red and a black usually. Okay, and the reason for that is because there's blue and yellow in between underneath. You see, when you see the pictures on the cards, right? When you see the pictures, you see certain colors, but other colors are just black. Well, and you see the black because red, yellow, and blue are all mixed together and created the black spot. But now when I bring it out and tell you there's yellow there, you can't say no. Go look at your color codes online. I'm waiting for you. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we're going to finish with that. Now we're going to just add them up now. 150, 160, 165. The spirit of the wolf. 6 and 5 is 11. 5 by 6 is 30. 5 and 6 is 11. The total is 41. You go around the Monopoly board. As you start on Go, you end up on the Mediterranean. I spoke about this in the last one. Then I talked about if you go around the board the other way, if you go around Go the other way, okay, and come back to the Baltic, it would be 43, right, the Baltic, it would be 43. And 43 or 34, because the numbers can be reverted. When there's less than 4 numbers, there's a certain way to do it, okay? When there's 4 numbers, because sometimes you'll see it'll say 1 point, number. The 1 is a completely separate entity. It's not in the same. Which line are you talking on? This line, or this line? This line, or this line? Is it this line or is it this line? That's what you're talking about. You have 4 passages, and that's it. Okay? So you have 3. So if it says 1 point, not even a point, forget it. Do we have to put the point? No, I don't think. As long as there's 1, we don't have to put the point, I don't think. But the point makes no difference because it's the totality of the first 3. But, oh yes, but if there's no point there, then you can take the totality of the left side and the right side and the center 3. Obviously, there's no center 3. And that's what they do with the Mayan calendar of 25,625. In which, why 25,625? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. All these corners on your phone will tell you they're 10 total, passing by the 5 hole. I passed by here 4 times, going out in 4 directions. But if I'm going out in 4 directions, I'm coming from 4 other directions, telling me there's 8. 8 here and 8 here. I'm not going to give you the rest. I'm doing one side, okay? So what you have is, you did it 4 different times. So you go, the 5 hole is here. The average of everything here is 5. So you pass it through here 4 times. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125. Times 5 is 625. Now, you collect yourself Baltic, go all the way around the board, and you end up on the Mediterranean 41st. You multiply the 41 by the 625, and your answer is 25,625, the time of the Mayan calendar, and the 52-year cycles that they have, and I'm not even getting into that. All right? Anyways, so we have a total 165. We have 23 and 165, which gives us a total of, ding, 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 188. Why? It's the one spirit of 88. 188 is 2 hearts. And can I just draw this? Where's this thing? How can I draw it like this? I can't do that. Can I do it this way? How can you see? Okay, I'm just going to do it without anything, okay? Hey, little fella, what you gonna do? Hey, little fella. Okay, you know what that is? This is the spade. The stump. Listen, this is the stump, right? Now either you can see something up here like a cord going up and down, and this is their long nose, almost like a snowman, but it's not like that. It's this way. This is a graduation hat. For what? For there. 2 students, 8 and 8. They're actually just really eggs. Teardrops. Have you ever seen what a teardrop look like? Well, that's sort of like 4 teardrops right there. And what you see up in the air, if you really have a good imagination, and I flipped it upside down, it would be like a puddle of water. You know what I'm saying? They're looking out at the sun one way, the other way, and this is what they're sitting on. You can do whatever you want in there. My imagination just takes me so far that once I start to write on it, I'll make it disappear. I write right over it. You know, when you write right over something, something disappears because something else reappears above it, right? Okay, right. Yes, we got 188. Pretty funny. Did I ever tell you about this? Look at this. Look at this. Imagine this is a 7. You know, it's almost like exactly. I mean, how much different is this? Doesn't this look like a 7? I mean, it's the one on the $100 bill Monopoly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, doesn't it look like a bent 7? It looks like it's bent here. Well, the other thing about this is, why in the world would they do this? Look. Looks like a 9. And if you turn it this way, it looks like a 6. And it's a 2. But if I turn it this way, and if you look from this side, take a look at it. Doesn't it look like a 7? There you go. I mean, look how much I'm showing you of it. It's like a 7, you know? So there's more than one in it. Anyways, 7 and 6 are the same thing. That's why it's unlucky 13. You know why? Because that's why women have bigger fat bubbles than men. Because it's almost like, remember Mrs. Doubtfire? Well, that's basically how God works. He's like Mrs. Doubtfire. So he is 7 and he is 6, and we are his children. So therefore, when we return to back home, there will no longer be 13. 13 will no longer and cease to exist. And the reason for that is pretty much simple. that if I can find the reason it will no longer exist is because to begin this world, this is how it began. Beta and alpha, 1 and 2. It all ends on center C, the piano. It's insane. Why 13 is gone? There is no 13. 12 remains. So I guess the 12 tribes are okay, right? It's 3 groups. It's alpha and beta, period. Beta, beta because, how can I explain it? Because there's 2 sexes, basically. You see the 2. Hey, they're opposite of each other. Could be an opposite sex. Since we went out the other day and I saw a pair of dice. You saw a pair of dice? Yes, I saw a pair of dice. Therefore, it can be observed as paradise. So we are left with 12. Now the question is, we also have 12 months a year, we have 13 moons, and we're always left over with 1.25 days every year. And like I said, the reason for the 1.25 is because of the cross connection of these lines and crossing over the center 5, okay, 4 ways, but in one world is this way, the other world is this way. In one world it goes 3, in the other world it goes 3, but it never goes 4 in the same world. It's just that there's one difference between the 2 that adds up to the 4th one that you just can't figure out. So if you go down here and across, it's 5 by 5 by 5 equaling to 125, and that's the amount of time you're missing for each time year, I guess the way they call it. Also, the same thing for time is that the Earth shift or movement, whichever you want to call it, for every 5 minutes of the day is 1.25 degrees. And that makes up for the other sort. Where else am I here now? Oh, yes. I don't know if you remember what I told you, but this is funny. In 2012, the word says for a letter exchange, B-O-A-D. Bo is a language I made up about 7 years ago, which means 0 AD, okay, after the death. 0 AD, and this is what it says. So that means from this time to this time, this is the word talking about both times at the same time. That's why this is the end time, 2014. I'm always going to do this. I'm going to show you again. That's a 4 dice turned into a 5. Why I turned it into a 5 is because here, every dot on this side has to go on the opposite side. So each side is going to turn into its opposite side one way or the other. When you take the dice, 1, 2, 3, 4 5s, 4 by 5, 20. Now we take the dice and turn it this way. This is a 7, and then we turn it again, and this is a 7. 14, 2014. Now, if you want to know the Hebrew year, we're going to turn it, stand it up on this angle, hold on, like this. I wish I can show you. It's very difficult. Anyways, on this angle, as you can see, it is a 7. On this one, it's a 5. On this one, it's a 7. On this one, it's a 5. And the year is 5775. Now, if you want another thing to tell you about 5775, man is the 1/4. Man is 1/4 of the spade and 3/4 of everything else. Man is 1/4 of the heart and 3/4 of everything else. So, what was I talking about? The spade, the heart. Oh my God, I'm not happy with this. It was so good. It was going so good. Man, what about man? I'm going to have to cancel this and go back and do another video. Give me a couple of seconds. Oh, yes, the dice. Okay, so now I have 5775. Now, the 5th letter in the alphabet and the 7th letter in the alphabet is E and G. So we have E, G, G, E, egg. That's what it says. It says the egg of Bo AD of 2014. Did you understand what I said? Bode. Bo means 0, AD, 0 AD 2014. The same dice say 5775 and say eggy. It can also mean many other things. This is what we went over, okay, with the Monopoly money. We went over this guy. Oh, yes, I did the Mediterranean. Okay, so we're going to end it here. And I'm just going to go back and some of the things we need to correct. And first, I have to understand. Maybe my logic is out, but you're going to correct me. I believe, okay, I'm just telling you what my belief is. I believe that banks should be non-profit organizations, and they should only make a certain amount of money for a certain reason, for the same reason that we're growing chickens and having quotas, that they have quotas on salaries in the NFL, NHL, baseball, and every other sport, that there's fixations that they try to make you have less babies. So everything has to be into some sort of control because we see it's happening all over the place. Okay, you just can't do what you want to do, because if you do what you want to do, all the people who have what they have right now won't make as much money because everybody else is doing the same thing. I saw it happen with my cousin and the ostriches. I saw it happen in the pig business. I saw it happen at $85 a ton for corn for almost 8 years in a row. I mean, just record lows of 125 and 30 into the farmlands. And go, 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 the farmer, 18 hours a day. And nobody cares about what the farmer does because he's got to get out that load. And everybody knows they don't have to be watched because they know they don't get anything back. So certain things really don't have to be policed because they already know they have no choice. I mean, I know for myself, it's a life or death situation, right? But let me tell you one thing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How do I listen to somebody who's not? I said stop. And I'm all alone. So if I resist, they attack me. If I don't resist and I go with them, they'll capture me and put me in jail, imprison me for no reason at all. But I'm all alone. So what do? What do you want me to tell you what to do? You got a few bucks? Whatever you can do to what level, you make sure you're cameraed all the time by pushing a button in your pocket. A camera pops out on top of your lapel, or a recorder, or whatever you can do. And you know what the greatest thing is that we can send it right to our computer and just send it out right away. You know, sure, I'm worried. I'm worried a little bit. Why? Because I have no way of protecting myself. Because every time I think of protecting myself, everybody would say it's illegal. I don't want to do anything illegal. So anyways, I'm just jumping in and out on things. Went to school, teacher, principal pushed me in the hallway. Principal turns around, he looks at me. He says, "What are you going to say?" I said, "I ain't going to say nothing." He says, "You just walked right into me." I says, "No, you walked right into me." I got suspended for 3 days. Woo! Made 80 bucks working. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to stay home, son. You're going to go to work with your father and make a few bucks if you can't stay in school. So, how can we say, I lost my mouse. Lost my mouse. Lost my mouse. Thank you. Raphael 7286. Be well.